Hello, welcome to episode 2 of ManHound Sound Sessions. I'm your host, Bill Wardlow. Got a very special treat for you today. My guest is Nolan Taylor. I had never met Nolan before. When he started to sing, he quickly became one of my local favorites. His voice just absolutely blew me away. He's got a great story, and I'm convinced he's going places. We had a great talk over a couple of beers, and just a ridiculous good live performance. I hope you enjoy it as much as I did. Here's my interview with Nolan Taylor.
Oh, I need you right now.
Hey Nolan, welcome to the podcast, buddy.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming. I appreciate it. Let's jump right in. What got you started playing?
Well, I started out trying to play bass. Well, all right. Back when I was a little kid, I fell in love with Ralph Stanley.
Who didn't?
Exactly. And I wanted to be the best banjo picker on the face of the earth. And my uncle had one. He was like, I can't play it. So he sent it to me for Christmas one year. And I found out I was left-handed. It says it was a right-handed 5-string, and I couldn't play it. Every time I grabbed it, I'd pick it up and turn it upside down, and my teacher would be like, what are you doing? It's the other way. But so then from that point on, I just kind of gave it up for a few years. And then I was like, I want to play bass because of Chris Squire from Yes. I was like, he's the greatest bass player ever. I want to do what he does. I went and bought a bass right-handed because I knew some guy who said he can change it. And he did. Changed it over to left-handed. Hated it. And my buddy bought the acoustic guitar at the exact same pawn shop like the next day. I was in between trying to buy, like, should I get that right-handed bass and flip it, or should I get this left-handed acoustic guitar? And then he got it and he hated it, and he was like, I'll sell it to you for like $60. And that was the first time I ever played. I was like 7th grader, and it just kind of snowballed.
All right, nice.
Yep.
I know a guy that plays right-handed bass, but he's left-handed, so he plays left-handed guitar.
What?
Yeah.
How in the heck?
I don't know.
That is insane.
Yeah. Well, when did you write your first song?
I'd say I started it when I was in high school. I had about the first 2 verses. First verse, it's Realize, is the name of the song. I probably had about first 2 verses. And then some kid came over about the time I graduated. Might have been a year out of high school, and he was like, let's try to work on that. And he gave me some nice ideas, and then I was like, whatever. And I finished it like the next week. Hated it. Never wanted to play it. Didn't play it in front of anybody. Still don't play it that often to this day. But yeah, my brother helped in on it. It was like me and him kind of collabed the most on it. So that's what the end product.
Really?
Yep. So I was probably about 18, 19.
Really?
Yep.
Late bloomer.
Yeah. I didn't have much interest in it. I was playing sports in high school instead of music.
That's interesting.
Yep.
Most guys get started pretty early.
Right. I wish I would have, trust me.
So how long was it till you wrote another song?
Oh, years.
Really?
Yep. Several years.
When did you get into actually writing pretty regularly?
Oh, I still suck at it. I'm too self-conscious. I write regularly, but I hate it all. So I scrap everything I ever write. I'll delete it out of my phone or to rip up the paper and throw it away. I hate how I write.
Away, put it in a box somewhere. You might change your mind about it later.
I know. I need to. I'm getting better on it now. I just kind of record myself singing random crap into my iPhone, and I'll go back like 6 months later and be like, "That was a great idea," and I'll try to write to it, and I'll finish a song out of it.
Yeah. Is that your process now?
Kinda. Well, here lately, I've just been kind of getting hit with songs. Like I'm just walking, and I'm like, "Oh, that's a really good." Line, and I'll just kind of sit down and write it all together.
It's great when it happens. That way.
It's amazing. I've been so lucky. Like my last 3 songs are just bam, bam, bam.
Nice.
Just coming out. Yeah.
So does it normally come as a lyric first, or do you
50%
write a
of the
lyric
time
to music?
I'd say 50% of the time. It's half and half. It's like sometimes I'll be playing around and just doing random things, and then I'll just be like, wow, that really clicked. Like that fits so well with my personal style, and then I'll just try to make something out of that. Or sometimes, like I said, I'll be walking through the house and be like, oh, that's a cool line.
Nice.
And just go right to it.
So if you start with vocals, do you then find a melody first, or do you write music and then figure out how to make those lyrics fit?
When I guess when I'm with the line, I just kind of make it all make sense in my head before I even put it on before I even put it on a guitar or anything. So I'll kind of know what I want out of it. And then I'll be like, okay, I think I want to play this out of G because I want to start singing like this, or I want, you know what I mean? Like I know I can
So you
be
work
louder.
out a melody and everything
yeah,
as you do
like
it?
in my head, and then I'll put it on. Then I'll go grab the guitar and I'll be like, wow, that was a terrible idea. You know what I mean? Like, why did I ever think I should play it like that? And then I'll just come up with something completely different than the original version.
Right.
So it's nice.
So how important is the lyric over it fitting into the song?
The lyric's the most important part of the song for me.
Yeah.
So I think it all has to, the lyrics have to meld perfect in my mind, which is why I hate my writing sometimes. I'll be like, well, that just doesn't make any sense, or I shouldn't have done that there. I can't get that away from, I don't know. It's just, but I just feel like the writing has to be so on point with the music as well, though. So like if I'm playing dark stuff, I want to sing about something dark. Or if I'm playing like a happier chord, I'm trying to make it more upbeat and happier lyrics and stuff like that.
But most importantly, the lyric has to say what you're wanting to say.
Yep. Lyrics are my favorite thing in this world.
Every line?
Yeah, pretty much.
Really?
Mm-hmm. That's I really struggle with. If I think something sounds dumb, it's like, that's only a couple filler words, you know what I mean? Like, it's not that big of a deal, but in my head, I'm like, I got to find something else. I can't play this live because there's 2 words that I said in that song that I just don't like.
Right.
Yep. Too picky.
Some guys will change that every time they play it.
Yep. I understand that. I understand that big time.
Do you deal with writer's block at all? Or do you just wait until it happens?
Yeah, I'm more of the latter. More just kind of hits me.
Do you do writing exercises or anything like that?
Not as much as I would want to. I look up how to be a more creative writer all the time. I just love writing, period. So like my favorite class in school was English and writing together. I loved them. I loved reading. I loved writing. I loved creating stories. I loved writing short stories, poems, but I've never thought I was any good. I was like, I'm not very good at it. I just really enjoy it. And that's kind of how I feel with songwriting. It's like, I'm at least saying what I'm saying, but I'm okay, it's nothing to brag about.
So you do it daily, regularly?
Probably, especially if, I play every day. So I'm constantly writing every day, whether it's something stupid or something serious. I'm constantly making things up as I'm going.
Well, there's something called the 20-80 rule.
Yeah.
What is it? 20%, 80% of the work for 20% of the yield.
Yeah, exactly.
So, you write 100 songs, you might get 20 out of them.
Right.
So
that's exactly how I am. So I'm literally writing all the time. I play 12 songs probably live, which isn't that much considering how often I am trying to put stuff together.
Right.
Well, it's all right.
But mostly originals you play as you're out?
Nowadays, my songwriting kind of hit. I went to The Voice.
Really?
Yeah. So I had only had maybe 2 or 3 songs that I had ever written before The Voice 2 years ago. And I made it past the first round, and her and I were like, what? Like, I did it on a whim. We just drove out to Indianapolis and just did it because everybody on Facebook was like, you got to do this. I was like, I never even seen the show. So I went out to The Voice and I made it past that first round. We were like, what? Like, what the heck? So then they were like, come to a private audition 2 days later at an undisclosed location. We'll send you the address. Don't tell anybody because they don't want people showing up trying to be like, please let us in,
Right.
And waited forever, made it again. Immediately. Like, as soon as I sang my first song, pretty much, they were like, you're going. So then I waited for months after that. And then they got a hold of me. They flew me out to Los Angeles. And I was like the round before casting. I got voted off there. And the whole process, I never took any serious at all. Like, none of that entire thing.
That's probably the best way to do it.
I was just going out there having fun, but it sucked when they said, like, everybody around me was trying so hard. Gargling honey and stuff to clear their vocals, and I'm just like, I don't care, I'm getting drunk the night before and going out there and playing. And but when they said like, we don't want you, I was like, wow, I'm pissed. Like, what? The audacity, you know what I mean? And so I mean, I called her. I was mad. I was like, I'm never doing something like that again. Well, the next day I got home and I was just like, nah, I'm gonna make that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna go out and do this all the time. So I never really even took it serious all the way up to the point. I played open mics in my own shows all the way up to 2 years ago, just sparingly when people would ask me to. But then I hit to that point and I was like, I'm doing this big. I'm going to try to make this my full time. Like, I'm going to write and write and write and write and write. I'm going to play anywhere I can. And that's kind of where it's all taken me.
You got to have.
It was like all because of the voice, though, which is the best part, because I'm like, I'm going to prove to you guys, you know, it's like, as cliche as that sounds, like that's exactly how it started. And then I just went on a writing frenzy. I just wrote that 500 song that I played on this podcast.
That's great. You had that reaction.
Yeah. It was like fueled the fire.
Yeah, that's good.
It was a great experience overall.
That's a neat experience.
It was wild.
Kind of caught me by surprise. I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, it was fun.
All right. Well, let's take a break and take a listen to a song.
Perfect. Thank you.
Awesome.
All these chilly days and these rainy nights, they got me feeling learning most of the time. 'Cause I really miss you. We can sit inside and just watch it rain. We'll take a drive on a real nice day. It's all our imagination. And I'm so tired saying goodnight over the phone. And I can't bear another cry sending you home. Girl, we gotta figure this out. Baby, soon I hope. We're getting closer every single day. I see you tearing up, girl, but please don't try to refrain. So I can be a shoulder to lean on. And we can quit our jobs to live in a van, bust down the streets until we make up a plan for hobby. And it's all that matters. But I'm so tired saying goodnight over the phone. I can't bear another cry sending you home. Girl, we gotta figure this out. Baby, soon I hope. I'm so tired of saying goodnight over the phone. And I can't bear another cry sending you home. Girl, we gotta figure this out. Baby, soon I hope.
All right. That was great stuff. Thanks.
I appreciate it.
So, what kind of recordings do you have out?
Hardly any. I have a video that I recorded pretty professionally in a studio with my Realize video, and then I kind of took the audio off of that and I put it on all streaming platforms. So I think it's on literally everything but Amazon Music. Well, unfortunately, I don't know why they didn't put it on there, but yep. And then other than that, it's just YouTube videos. I got like a pretty professionally quality cover of one of my buddy's songs on YouTube. Same guy did it, same place. It's just a different time, obviously.
Right. I checked those out. I highly recommend everyone else go check that out as well.
Thank you. I hope
It's
you guys
really
do.
good stuff.
Thank you.
So, do you ever write with other people?
No, I have not. I mean, I did with my first song. I said that earlier. I kind of collabed a little bit more than I ever have before, but I'm very open to co-writing. That's something I want to get more into, just to bounce different ideas, and get away from my style and go to somebody else's and help with that.
But you haven't done a lot of it yet?
No, because I don't really know anybody who's open and willing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I feel like I reach out all the time, you know what I mean? If anybody wants to write or play, I'm always down.
I find the same problem, actually.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
People are busy, though. I get it.
Yeah. Speaking of being busy, how do you find the time?
To write?
Yeah. To write, to play, to...
Well, I
How do you fit it all in?
I'm very anal about everything in my life and super particular. So I have to have some sort of structure. So I typically will wake up, if I'm working an afternoon shift, I'll wake up pretty early, give myself about 4 or 5 hours before I have to leave, try to. And that's just constant playing guitar, reading books, writing anything from a short story to anything. Like I'll just sit down and try to bounce ideas around in my head, just be creative. I have to have like some sort of creativity hour or hours. But yeah, so I mean, if I'm working an early shift, I make sure I get directly home and jump right in and just start playing guitar and bouncing ideas around my head. And it's something I make myself do every single day. Otherwise, I feel really bad about myself if I don't.
So you pretty well keep a schedule then?
Yeah, I have to.
Yeah, that's good.
Yep. It's my best quality, I'd say.
What's some influences of yours?
Well, for my writing in particular,
Yeah.
or just like music in general?
For your writing and for music in general.
Well, my big influences aren't necessarily like my favorite bands or anything. Like my favorite band's the Grateful Dead, but I don't sit around and be like, oh, I'm going to create a jam here, because I don't, you know what I mean? I don't know how. I'm not that good, you know, but so I just envy, and I love what they do, but then I listen to people that are more my style.
It would be really nice to be able to write lyrics like Robert Hunter.
Oh,
though.
that's what I'm saying. He's insane. And it would be really nice to even create any sort of music that Jerry Garcia ever did. You know, sitting down from Old and in the Way to all of his acoustic crap, his bluegrass crap, all the way to Jerry Garcia band to the Grateful Dead. Like, it's impossible. I would love to, but he's the greatest, you know, one of them. But
I would have to agree with you.
yeah, he just blows my mind. But I would say my biggest top influence in the way I write, and I envy the way that he just like orchestrates a song, I guess, if that's a word, is Gregory Alan Isakov. He's he's a guy from South Africa. He lives in Boulder now. His full-time job is he farms a couple acre plot of land and then clones the seeds and then sells them. So when it's winter, he tours. Summertime and fall and stuff, he don't play. He plays in Colorado a couple times a year, you know what I mean? But then once it's winter, he tours the country, tours the world. But he's so dark, but yet not necessarily always sad. It's always very dark and beautiful music. And he's so good that he did an entire album with the Colorado Symphony.
Wow.
Like, that's how good the guy. Not every artist can say, hey, I want to get a symphony together and create music. You know what I mean?
Especially
he did
one that doesn't do it full time.
Right. He's unbelievable.
Wow.
He's my favorite.
How did you find this guy?
Well, my buddy, I mentioned that I covered one of his songs, Vegas. His name's Zach McFadden. great, one of my favorite songwriters ever. That's who my next influence was going to be. But he was like, yeah, we were real big Joe Purdy fans who really got me started in folk music entirely. I wanted to be an acoustic guitar player because of this guy named Joe Purdy, who I'll get to as well. He was like, dude, we love Joe, but have you ever heard of Greg? And I was like, Greg who? And he's like, Greg Round Isakov, dude. He's this guy from South Africa. You got to check him out. Unbelievable. Sent me a song and I hated it. I was like, this dude, like, what are you listening to? Like, this is the most boring thing I've ever heard in my life. Well, then I started listening to it more, and I was like, this is the most beautiful thing I've ever heard in my life. Like, he took everything down to like the simplest form and just made it some of the most beautiful music I've ever heard ever. So, and I just fell in love with it. Like, Joe Purdy at the time was my idol, my hero. I wanted to be him. And then I heard this guy, and I was like, this guy knows exactly what's going on in my head. You know what I mean? Like, everything that goes on in my head, he's putting it in music form. So that, I would say he's my absolute biggest influence in songwriting.
Wow.
But like I did mention, Zach McFadden, who introduced me to Greg Round Isakov, he writes and writes and writes. I don't know if he's writing too much anymore, but he used to write constantly. He had an album out with Zach McFadden and the Speakeasy Band out of Chillicothe, Bainbridge area. They were great, but his songwriting was even more impressive. Like, he was writing most of his songs as a teenager that he was playing for me, and I'm just like, what? This dude is one of the best, you know? So I try to play as much of his music because he is such an inspiration to me, and I try to model what he does, really.
Right.
And then Joe Purdy, it's kind of a mix between all three.
Is Zach still around?
He don't play hardly ever.
Really?
He's working a full-time job now. He just played his first show in a long time in Circleville at what is the name of that place? Tootsie's. Toodles?
Tootsie's.
Is it Tootsie's?
I think it's Tootsie's.
Yeah, so that's where he played out in Circleville. Same place like Colder Wall and stuff played when they were doing the circuit down 23.
Right.
But yeah, so he hardly ever plays anymore. That's why I play his music, honestly. I seen his brother last night. He came to one of my shows, and I was like, dude, if he ain't going to do it, I'm going to.
Yeah.
Like, I'll play all my own and his.
Heck yeah.
So, yeah, he's unbelievable.
So Joe Purdy, where's he from?
Arkansas. Yep. He's from Arkansas. I got introduced to him when I was like a freshman in high school, sophomore in high school. He's actually most famous for, back in the day, I don't know, do you remember the Dawn commercial where they were washing ducks? Specifically.
Yeah, actually I do.
They were washing the oil off the ducks.
Right.
And there was a song in the background saying, I got troubles, but not today because they're going to wash away. They're going to wash away. And that was the whole thing. That's actually a Joe Purdy song.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, years later, I only knew one song by him. So a couple years later, that commercial aired, and I was like, that's Joe Purdy. I was like, I know that vocal. You know what I mean? Like, that is him. And then, so I just went on and I just looked up everything he ever had to offer. And I fell in love. I mean, almost burnt myself out, really.
Wow.
But yeah, he's one of my, them three got me into songwriting more than anybody.
Heck yeah. What's some of your favorite local bands around here?
Well, I just got to support some of my best dudes.
Artists, I guess I shouldn't say it, bands.
Yeah. I got to always support my guys. So, See You and the Funnies. Those guys are great. Every one of them.
Those guys are great.
And then Ghost Mountain and Rootbound. Like some of those guys are just some of my best friends, you know, like those guys are super talented. I wish I had half the talent that Alan Grooms or, you know, Josh had or Zach Stout. Like them guys are just, they're insane. So I love them guys. I love Dusty Chamberlain, his voice. He's like a country guy.
Yeah, I'm glad to see Dusty out and playing.
Yeah,
playing,
I got to see him.
Solo shows.
I was lucky enough to catch him. He asked me to play a benefit with him for the winery that burned down. That's the first time I got to see him, and I was like, man, this dude's good. I was like, Dusty's got it. So, yeah, I mean, really, everyone around this area is unreal talented. I've never, in my wildest dreams, imagined moving to West Union, Ohio, and going, well, I just ran into the mecca of Ohio
That's
musicians.
what I keep saying. That's why I'm trying to drag all these guys here and
Oh, I know.
and
They
let
need
people
to be.
know that they're here.
Yeah, because them guys are they're just so good.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean everybody around here. It's just
Dusty can do a hell of a tattoo too.
yeah, right. Yeah, if you ever need a tattoo, stop down by Dusty Chamberlain. He's got you.
Right downtown Mount Orb, Ohio.
That's right.
So what's your favorite venue around here? You've been playing around a little bit. What's the favorite place to play?
Man, I like playing at RD's a lot.
Really?
Yeah, I love Russellville.
I played at
Everyone there,
RD's.
they are so responsive.
Yeah.
RD's is great.
That's a big part of it. The Century across the street there. I used to play there a lot.
Yeah.
And the crowd was so great there.
Yeah, I can't believe they shut
And
down.
I can't either.
That place was a cool bar too. It was an interesting place.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it was a happening
every
spot.
time I went there, it was packed
Packed
full
out,
and,
yeah.
and the crowd was great and they were responsive and were paying attention to what you were doing. It was actually nice to play.
Yeah, it was. That was a nice place. First time I ever went in there, I couldn't even get in the door. There were so many people there. I was like, this is obviously against fire code. You know what I mean? I was like,
Right.
geez. So I ended up not even going in. I went to RD's. But yeah, I love RD's and I love Bottoms Up. The same. Bottoms Up's like home to me.
Where's Bottoms Up at?
Manchester.
Manchester. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I love it. It's just right there on 52, I think is what the road is.
Isn't Manchester dry?
Nope. I think that's like the only town around that isn't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Then you
Okay,
got obviously
I
got
thought the whole
Maysville.
county
No.
was dry.
Yeah, I guess that's a common misconception. I'm not exactly sure because when we first moved there, everybody said we went into town to get beer. They're like, "Oh no, it's a dry county." Well, 4 miles down the road, there's a liquor store in Manchester.
Maybe are they on the other side of the county line?
might
maybe?
be. But yeah, I love Bottoms Up's a great place. It's like home to me. RD's is fun to play. Everybody's super responsive. I don't really know anybody there. That's where I met Alan and all those guys.
Right.
And then
Alan does the open mic over there.
Yeah, exactly.
On Thursday nights, go check that
Yep.
out.
Charles Cameron, he runs it a lot too
Yeah.
now since Alan's pretty busy.
Right.
But yeah, that's about
It's a
it.
fun place to hang out, and open mic is always a good time.
Oh,
Every
yeah.
time I've been over there, it's a really good time. So
Everybody's so good out
yeah,
there.
if you play music, go over there and check it out.
Heck, I mean, over even in Ripley, you got Rookies. That's a pretty cool spot to play. What's the one right down the corner? I can't remember it. That was a pretty neat place.
Have you played Sons of Toil yet?
No, everybody
You need to
keeps
get
telling me
over
I need to
there,
get over
man.
there.
Yeah, for real.
I don't know who to get a hold of.
Yeah, I'll hook you up.
Cool.
All right. Well, let's take a break and play another song. And
Sounds good to me.
great.
Hey, thank you.
Oh, I need you right now. Every day without you's hell. Girl, 'cause you know that I'll fail so madly for you. And I know this distance, it's hard. 500 miles apart. And every day seems a bit harder. I'm living in hell. Oh, I miss your sweet lips. I miss your steady kiss. The way you hold my hand, how you kiss me on my head. Tell me exactly how you feel when you look me in the eyes. You say I love you. trying. Oh, I need you right now. Every day without you's hell. Girl, 'cause you know that I fail so madly for you. And I know this distance it's hard, 500 miles apart. And every day seems a bit harder. Yeah, I'm living in hell. Oh, I need you right now. Every day without you's hell. Girl, 'cause you know that I fail so madly for you. Darling, that's true. I know this distance it's hard, 500 miles apart. And every day seems a bit harder. Yeah, I'm living in hell without you, my girl.
All right. Killer stuff, man.
I really appreciate that. Seriously. Thank you.
Really enjoyed recording it. It was really great.
Thank you so much, really. I'm so honored to be here.
So I just got one more question.
Yep.
What's the best song you got?
My favorite song I've ever written?
Yep.
It's a song that actually I don't play, ever. I've only played it live for a short couple months after I wrote it.
Really?
Yep. It's called Habits. It's my favorite song I've ever written. We were listening to it last night. I had a recording of it on my phone for a while back. Yep.
Why don't you play it?
I don't know. I just don't want... I love it. It means a lot to
Share
me.
it, man. Share it.
It means so much to me when I hearing it and stuff, but like I feel that it doesn't captivate people as much as I want it to. So I'm like, I'd rather just captivate me, I guess.
You'll never know until you put it out there.
This is also true. This is true. Yeah, it's she always wants me to play it, and I just never do.
Wow.
Yeah, it's funny.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing what you got coming up. I'm looking forward to you getting some recordings out and
Me too. Trust me.
being able to throw it in the CD player on the, on
Right.
the way down the road.
Right. Yeah, that's the goal. Is get some physical stuff out there.
I really enjoy your songs.
Thank you.
Really enjoy your performances.
I appreciate that a
I
lot.
appreciate you coming out.
Thanks for having me.
And go to Spotify and Apple Music and
I'm the only
wherever
Nolan Taylor
you,
on there.
every place but Amazon apparently.
Yeah, every place but Amazon. I'm on Deezer. I'm
and
on.
check out the song he's got out there, and
That's my
and
first
wait,
song.
Wait for the new stuff.
Yep, patiently. It's I'm on an estimate that I'll have some out by early next year.
Awesome.
So
Looking forward to it.
same here. Thank you.
Great.
Lay down. Can we take this slow? Just wrap your arms around me and don't let me go. It's almost 3 a.m. and this don't seem right. You don't have to go, you can stay the night. You can stay the night. So I'm alone again, inside of my own mind. When is everything gonna be just fine? You keep saying everything's gonna be alright. not tonight. I know it's complicated. I can't get this off of my mind. It's double life we're leading. Yeah, you and I both know this ain't right. So won't you stay the night? Off, dear, we can't retreat to the den. Woman, I don't want this night to ever end. Do I keep waiting here for a call each night? Broke another fucking string. Happens so much. That was a good take there.
It's always a bummer when you break a string and you don't have another set. And Nolan's left-handed, so it's not like he could play one of my guitars. Anyway, I highly suggest going out and checking out a Nolan Taylor show. It's just not the same till you're standing in the same room with the man. Go to Nolan Taylor Music on Facebook. Hit the follow button to keep up with all the latest. Next month, I've got 2/3 of the band Darkroom Ignite. They're a loud, dirty, grungy rock band that come in here and broke it down acoustic for us, and they killed it. They're a couple of really cool guys. It was a lot of fun. You'll definitely want to check that out. Keep up with the show on Facebook at ManHound Sound Studio. To contact us, we're at manhoundsound@gmail.com. From ManHound Sound Studios, I'm Bill Wardlow. This has been ManHound Sound Sessions. Thanks for listening.
Oh, I need you right now. Every day without you's hell. Girl, 'cause you know that I'll fail. So mindly for you.